Hi there. Today I'm going to model a deconstruction and analysis of a persuasive speech. In particular, I'm going to analyse George W. Bush's 9/11 address, which was delivered on September 11, 2001 in the Oval Office in Washington, D.C. This was in response to the Al-Qaeda terrorist attacks on the US on the morning of September 11. As you are aware, 4 passenger airliners were hijacked and crashed into various significant United States buildings. Step 1 is always to read the speech. I've already done that, so I'm going to get straight into the deconstruction. As you can see, I've got the first 2 paragraphs of the speech here. Down the right-hand side, I've also got listed the persuasive devices or techniques that we're looking for within this section of the speech. The introduction highlights the situation. We know that this is a tragic message. However, the President reinforces that America is strong. There is a high use of the collective we and our, reinforcing that the tragedy affected everyone and also that the response to this is from everyone as well. We're going to start by looking for tricolon, remembering that that is the use of 3 things to emphasize an idea. So we've got that straight away in the first sentence with our fellow citizens, our way of life, our very freedom. The second example of that is towards the end of the paragraph with disbelief, terrible sadness, and quiet, unyielding anger. The second device we're going to have a look at is repetition. Okay, it obviously reinforces and emphasizes ideas also. So we've got huge structures in the first paragraph, and in the second paragraph we've got great people, okay, to defend a great nation. We also have but they cannot. Okay, so we've got our first example here, but they cannot touch the foundation, okay, and but they cannot dent the steel. Alliteration is the repetition of our starting sounds, okay, and there's quite a fair bit of this used within this speech. We have deliberate and deadly in the first section, ended by evil in the middle of the first paragraph, and then mass murder in our second last line here. In our second paragraph, we have our biggest buildings, our only example of alliteration that I found. Extended metaphors are repeated reference to a single image. Okay, there's quite a lengthy extended metaphor here that I'm going to try and underline in green for you. Okay, it starts with the foundation. Okay, so talking about America having a foundation of steel, being strong. Okay, and we can't shatter that steel. Okay, because we're the brightest beacon for freedom and opportunity in the world. Okay, the next sentence also goes into no one will keep that light from shining, reinforcing the idea that it's strong and heroic. It's a rhetoric that's there to inspire and galvanize ordinary citizens to stand up and, not lose hope in the situation. We've got the use of listing to incorporate everyone, big and small, that it's everyone's issue here, saying that the victims were in aeroplanes or in their offices, secretaries, businessmen and women, military, federal workers, mums, dads, friends and neighbours. It didn't just affect the upper class citizens or the lower class citizens, it affected everybody. Lastly, we've got antithesis, okay, which is 2 parallel ideas being put together. We've got that down the bottom here with the very worst of human nature, and we responded with the very best of America. Now on the screen we've got paragraphs 3, 4 and 5. So in paragraph 3 there, George W. Bush is really getting down to business. He's making assurances that the day-to-day stuff is going to be dealt with. He's assuring people, this is what we're doing and this is how we're going to proceed. In paragraph 4, there's a call to justice and a warning. Okay, it's definitive again in both modality and also in the language choices that are used. Lastly, in paragraph 5, we see that he's gracious and he has gratitude. It's a gentle follow-up to the last paragraph, reminding that they still are condemning people, that the US is not alone and the world is joining in the outrage. Now, if we have a look for these devices, we've got high modality, which is that level of definitiveness, that there's no room for doubt here. So it starts off immediately. So immediately following the first attack, we're going to reinforce the fact that our military is powerful, okay, and that our emergency teams are working in the present tense. Our first priority, okay, and that every precaution will be taken. As we move down, we say Washington, which had to be evacuated, but we will be open for business as usual tomorrow. Okay, and we've got a second will here in the last line. In paragraph 4, our high modality continues that we will make no distinction between the terrorists who committed these acts and those who harbour them. In paragraph 5, okay, he is strongly condemning these attacks. Assonance is our repetition of the internal vowel sounds. Okay, so we're going to have a look at one example of this, which is in paragraph 4, which is behind these evil acts, repetition of our E sound. Lastly, we've got alliteration, which is continued on as well, repetition of our consonants or initial sounds. And we've got one example of this in paragraph 3, which is powerful and it's prepared. We've got on the screen here the last 4 paragraphs of the speech. In paragraph 6, we've got a call to the higher power. So there's a religious overtone here, providing a sense of comfort, but also a sense of righteousness for the people. In paragraph 8, we've got a call for unity. That's that sense of solidarity that's given, and also it's a strong note to end on. Lastly, the president finishes with a comforting and familiar salutation. God bless America. Let's have a look for these persuasive devices. So sibilance is where we're going to start today with the repeated use of the soft S sound. So an example of that is the sense of safety and security that has been threatened. Our next device is the extensive use of those personal pronouns to provide the sense of unity. I'm going to show you some of those in blue. Okay, so it's all Americans. Okay, every walk of life we unite. None of us. Okay, again showing everyone, and we go forward. Tricolon is our use of threes, so emphasizing ideas, listing them. That happens in our salutation. Thank you, good night, and God bless America. Again, high modality features in this part of the speech, reinforcing that we will do something, okay, and that we will ever forget. So we will ever forget this day. This concludes the deconstruction. We're now going to use this evidence to construct an analytical paragraph. I'll show you how to do that one next time.